Hello everyone and welcome to another replay review by Mini. Before we get into this one, quick reminder, don't forget to make sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure you can continue to see great content. Today I've got a real treat for you. In this replay we are watching DSquariusGreenJr, which is one of 5D's lead cruiser players and, as backed up by stats, one of the best Moskva players in the game, taking out his Moskva. If I had to title this video as anything besides a replay review, basically, this is how you play Moskva at a high tier. So we're not going to be talking as much about what happened wrong, but about why he does what he does and how you should take that into your games. So before we get into the game, let's take a quick look at the setups. Okay, so Richthofen's on each side. 4 battleships versus 4 battleships, 1, 2, 3, 4 cruisers, and 3 Ds. Moskva, of course, used to be the Russian Tier 10 cruiser until they split the lines, at which point it was changed into a freemium briefly before it went to unavailable status currently. Anyway, let's get into the replay.
Battle starts.
Okay, so first off, standard stuff. He's setting up, going straight forward. He's got a Smolensk for support, and he's got islands here, 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 and here he can use. He's going to angle over this way more towards A now because he wants to use the islands for defense and to put himself in a position where he cannot be shot from all corners of the map. If you're going to go into the middle of the map ever, this is critical, is to use these islands, because if he uses this island, anytime he's behind this island, nothing at A has a shot on him, and even with being open from this side, these islands provide him a nice gap. Now he starts to look. And just instantly, you've got a broadside Moskva. He's going to immediately take the shots because that Moskva is not going to turn very quickly, and that's going to be a nice salvo here. And there you go, boom. First salvo of the game, already at almost 10k. Now, he's turning so that he has this island because he can use this for cover. The advantage of having the island here that he can use for cover is he can continue to push out, yes, but now he has a twofold advantage. One, he can push out around this edge to shoot stuff that's coming into this area if need be, but he can also back up and then be safe from everything that's from here over, like we already talked about, and have angle on the Moskva. A little bit of tactical not starting to slow down, though I'm not sure if that one was intentional. And there's the Moskva again. Still, this is a very disrespectful opt-out Moskva. That's a very disrespectful one. There we go. A little bit more chunking. Continuing to back up. He sees the shots coming in. So, as I said, he's backing up and he's putting himself into that position where he cannot be shot from many angles. They're going to have an angle here coming in, but still, he's sitting with it and he can bow tank that. Oh, and there comes a Harugumo out. Starting to push forward again. Just constantly moving back and forth. And if you watch, he is constantly moving back and forth. Radar to spot the DDs. Now, one of my few minor complaints, and it's not a big one, but I get working the Moskva, but thinking that there is a gearing here that you might have angle on, I'd take a peek on the shots on the gearing, because if you can chunk that gearing, I mean, I always like to say get the DDs down lower first, but he's just working this Moskva down to pieces. Okay, Shimakaze dies early. There goes the Harugumo, which now means that DSquarius doesn't have to worry about that, and shimmying those torps like a boss that Moskva is. Now you notice with the aim, those are going to hit on the ship because he aimed just slightly, and they're going to hit right there in the middle of the ship. Only two pens, sorry, and two non-pens, but still. At this angle with the HE, just keep burning him. There we go. There's the switch to AP. And you can see he has the expert loader skill for the quick change. Shooting AP. And look, one of the big things, I've talked just a hair about this already, but one of the big things that he's doing is he's engaging a target here. But he's constantly doing moves back and forth. He's throttle jockeying back and forth just to make it very hard to be shot at because he's not giving a constant staying in the same place. So if people think he's moving forward and the Petro over here, the Yamato wanted to try to shoot him, even though Yamato doesn't have angle, he's going back and forth, which is going to make it that much harder to hit him. 29K. He's averaging about 10K a minute right now. And that's a dead Moskva just working to get that Moskva out. And that should be dead Moskva right here. Should be a kill for DSquarius. Oh, that's bad luck you didn't get that kill. Knowing DSquarius, he was probably just like Pepegaing right there that didn't kill. So look, like I said, throttle jockeying forward only takes one shell. He's safe. He's watching for that those planes. Now at this point in the game, looking at the game state, good start. You've cleared out the center successfully. Their Harugumo's gone, their Moskva's gone, their Gearing's retreating. Every ship except for the Minnow has been spotted. A is being forced out, so there's no need to worry about A. So his focus is going to be on setting himself up in a position to work C, because he has currently, he knows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships over there out of 10, with a possibility that the Minnow, a 6th ship, is over there, and the Yamato was back here, so even possibly a 7th. So, Conqueror died because the Conqueror pushed up too far. Those were Gearing Torps. Oh, something back in B. And he's got the... He doesn't quite have radar range for the full cap. So he's looking at that Yamato. Is that Yamato shooting at him? Aiming for the cheek with the HE. Or actually upper deck with the HE. I might have considered, if I was doing that, shooting the AP and trying to get the cheek, but that's not bad. Oh, and that's a mistake by the Yamato there. You should not be DCPing the single fire, because that just means that all DSquarius is going to try to do now is chunk you again, and boom, second fire, perma fire now. He can't put out. So watch that fire. It's ticking 600 a second. So having that second set of HE ready to go for if a battleship pulls the mistake is great. Now, as we watch this, so Gearing is in B, he knows that, but he's not in a position to engage. There's too much over here. He needs to pull himself out of that before he just gets focused down, which is good. He's also working with the Henri to burn stuff down over here. Smallin should fight the Gearing, but hopefully he's keeping an eye for the Gearing being spotted. Meanwhile, still no eyes on the Minotaur, and we have confirmation ships are starting to push through C, so he's setting himself up in position to prevent that. Between him and the Henri, they're going to be able to burn that Petro down really quick. That is why it's always a nice thing to be having div mates. Like, you look at that Petro, and I just think he's dead quickly. Okay, so Smallin just spotted the Gearing, which is going to be an advantage for that. But now, DSquarius is still, he's playing at range. He's playing at decent range. But he's using it to his advantage, because he's still got plenty of range to give if need be. And he's taking a nice angle where it's awkward for stuff to shoot at him. This angle is beautiful because the Petro doesn't really have a broadside on the Moskva. If he shoots, it's probably going to be ricochets or pens, not citadels. The Yamato's far enough back that with the rudder shift time that Squares has, he can get his Moskva out of there quickly. And the PR on the corner, even if the PR has the angle, once again, the rudder shift time. So he's playing this at a beautiful distance. Still averaging about 10k a minute. A lot of HE non-pens, which is an unfortunate side effect of HE, especially in cruisers. But that Petro is dead. It's still burning from the Henri, which is that nice combo. Smallland wins the gearing fight, which means that Squarius now knows he's safe to turn around once that shifts down. So he's not going to turn around right now and give broadside. He is keeping an eye out. Like I said, there's the PR, there's the Yu Yang. But his goal is finishing off this Petro, and this is focus fire at its finest here. Petro's dead at this point, even with the heal. Oh, Kuznetsov. And that's what he spots. He spots the Kuznetsov, or maybe Maple mentions it. So instead of switching to the PR because the Petro was dead, he goes back to make sure it dies. Good. Now, as we said, there's the turn. Now he's reached the edge of the map. He's turning. His Richthofen's in a world of hurt, but he's in a position to just start chunking that PR. And the PR, even though it has the nice heal and the radar, is very vulnerable. So we're going to see shots. Yep, there's the HE coming out. Oh, and there's the Yu Yang. So now he's going to switch fire to the Yu Yang. And there's the radar. 40-second radar means that Yu Yang's going to get chunked. Still got Maple Chan. And this is why having good div mates is so important. DSquarius and Maple Chan are working together, and they are just going to melt this Yu Yang. Because between the 20-second radar, or sorry, the 40-second radar, 20 seconds left at this point, plus the quick reload times, plus the 2 sets of HE, he's just getting shellacked. Now, once again, angling. Angling is one of the things that DSquarius does phenomenally. Look at this. PR's here. PR doesn't have an angle on either of them to really hit them with AP hard, because DSquarius' angle is very, very, very acute, meaning that it's going to be ricochets galore, most likely. And for Maple Chan, it might be pens because it's a little less acute, but still, it's just, he's at a great spot because he's going towards the Yu Yang, and he gets the last set of shots out, but he's got, in addition, because he played this right, he has the island he can duck behind if he needs to here to dodge the Yu Yang torps, and he's not giving that PR any sort of angle it can work with. And now he's turning, he's going to keep that island, and he's going to lock himself by the island. Once again, he's stopping already because map awareness. Yamato's there. He stops by this island. Yamato has no shot. He can win a fight with a PR. Between him and Maple Chan and the MVR, that's a PR that's losing. PR is hoping to trade at best maybe 1-for-1. And immediately back to the Yu Yang as soon as he spots him. Immediately back to the Yu Yang as soon as it's spotted. So yeah, he's slowing down, he's stopping, he's watching, he's keeping an eye to make sure that Yamato doesn't have angle. He's just continuing to burn down. And then he's just hammering the front. That's a dead PR between the Henri and DSquarius. It's really who gets the kill here, and the MVR finishes it. Now, he's coming out. So, at this point, DSquarius needs to be careful with the Yu Yang over here in smoke, that he doesn't get torped, but he has an Henri, which is probably going to be able to torp detect for him. And he needs to engage the Yamato. He's looking for that Yu Yang, and there's the Yu Yang torps coming out, so he's waiting for that Yu Yang. But he's sailing once again. Look at this angle. He's not sailing straight at the Yu Yang and giving the Yamato broadside. He's sailing at an angle between them, which is giving it so ricochets from the Yamato. And he's got the advantage of being in the Cyclone, which is making the detection lowered. Now he's just, oh, yep, there's the AP load, and he's going to Citadel to cheek this Yamato because this Yamato's in a world of hurt. Citadel galore. He's watching for that Yu-Yang. Oh, what? DSquarius is probably once again saying Papega and feeling robbed. There we go. There's the 5 Citadels. Uses the surveillance radar to spot the Yu-Yang. Maple Chan now takes care of the Yu-Yang because DSquarius has the Yamato because it gave too much broadside and it's 1 salvo and it's a dead Yamato. And look, even with that chunk, and here comes the heal pretty soon. Another sit. Oh, that was 10 sits on a Yamato in a short range of time because he got the angle. And, oh, almost the double strike right there. Rib. There's the dead Yu-Yang. Okay. At this point in the game, it's still a tight game. Narrow advantage to green team, DSquarius' team, because of the extra ships and the capping. But while this has happened, the Thunder and the Kurfürst have walked back over here, and as has the Minnow. So, there goes the Yamato. So yeah, tight game again. And there's a full health Yamato. Now, so DSquarius' job at this point is to push to C. The Henri is going to turn around and come as soon as he can, but DSquarius' job is to push to C and to support the Smolin, because he's going to be the only one that's going to be able to. And he's holding an angle as he does it by going straight that island. One, if the Yamato comes around this island, so the Yamato comes around this island, Yamato is going to give him cheek, which is going to give him Citadel chance if he comes around. Two, the Moskva is in a position, and with the small and radaring and keeping the Yamato spotted, DSquarius is in a position where he can turn out or in as needed. But yeah, he's already setting up. He's seeing it coming right here. And there goes Kurfürst. So now this game is really tight because it's now 5-on-5. And this is about to skyrocket DSquarius' damage because he's about to get such a broadside. This is going to be 30,000 damage salvos here. Because this Yamato's not even prepped for it. Yeah, there we go. So see, 24,000. Now the Yamato's prepped, but it doesn't matter. It's too late. It's too late. Shoots again. 34,000 with the 6 pens, and he's not even going to get the guns around. This is what I said. 3 salvos, dead Yamato, and there's the high caliber. Positioning is king, and DSquarius does it in a Moskva better than almost anyone else. Okay. Now, at this point, first off, as DSquarius says in chat, stay near me. Smolin has good AA, Moskva has good AA. They can combo their AA together to really put that MVR in a world of hurt until the Smolin gets heals up. DSquarius is wondering where the CV is, because with the CV attacking the Smolin, he wants to find that. Especially because the last we saw it was coming this way. It's probably turning around, but he wants to see if it's close. And then he's going to have to work towards B, because they're going to lose A. As he's seeing now, they have 3 ships there. So yep, here we see the turn towards B and A. So the Daring's running away from the Thunder, Minnow, and Kurfürst, and Daring's dead, so A's lost. 4v4, and there's the plane detection. So we know the MVR's in the middle. And then... oh, that's one of the few slight mistakes, is triggering that early. He thought he was going to come in, but by the time he comes in, there's only 4.5 seconds left. So it would have been better to wait a little bit, because the MVR is going to try to get that broadside and then launch it, because it would still be going at this point instead of on cooldown. He's still going to get good destruction of planes, but it's not as good as it could have been. And but I mean, that's just a minor quibble. So A is being capped, and that's going to give them the lead. But the biggest threat left is, as DSquarius is saying, is the Thunder. The Minnow, yes, the Minnow can hammer, but if the Minnow tries to smoke up and hammer, DSquarius has a radar left, and he should kill a Minnow in that time. The Thunder burning down is going to be the biggest threat. And there's the AA suite. That might hit the small end. Oh, skin of the teeth. Skin of the teeth. That small end is lucky. So now, MVR is really hurting for planes at this point. They're going to push into B, which is going to stop it, but that's not going to be enough with 6 minutes left. They're going to need some kills. Oh, and seeing those planes are setting down, yeah, that's big. You know exactly where these CV is now. And there's the trigger, good triggering timing. That's going to be a really hurting aircraft. And good turn, rudder shift is beautiful. I might have not done the rudder shift and said, hey, I can take the damage he's going to put on me because it's not going to be that significant, but I can't fault him for turning and not giving the MVR a chance. The downside is now that because of that turn, DSquarius does have to do a backup, which is going to slow him down for a second. Oh, and there's a minnow pushing. DSquarius is about to have a disgusting angle. But this is really just the power of teamwork here at this point. Blind firing. And there we go. Now they use surveillance radar. Oh, and there we go. AP galore, switching to the HE now. Good, he's setting up on the front gun at that range to get, because the curve first will go up like kindling. If he gets shots on it, the curve first goes up like kindling. Maple Chan's gonna die pretty soon, if he's not careful. Oh, nice kill. Oh, now comes the challenge. Can he kill the... Yep, there goes him. So at this point, he's holding, once again, that awkward angle where the Thunder's not going to be able to AP, but he's going to turn in on him because the Thunder's trying to get the full salvo. And if I'm him, yep, there's the AP switch because he's saying, I can Citadel that Thunderer. Yeah, that Thunderer is going to take at least Citadels here, I believe, once. Oh, that's a disgustingly good dispersion. Oh, that's terrible luck on that. Now he's turning again. Why are you turning, Thunderer? It's just begging him, Moskva, to do... Wow, still no Citadels. Getting a little robbed here. Keep angling on it. There's the Confederate. And there's the immediate DCP as soon as the second set comes in because he knows it's going to be a fire. And kill. There's the Citadel finally. Oh, bad luck on the flood though. He's got to kill here, otherwise he dies. And there it's up belt. Boom. Oh. Wow, you got Pepega'd 3 times this game. Oh, and you are so lucky that didn't kill you. But at this point, 285,000 damage. 3 minutes left in the game. But really, really, really in a hurting position. That being said, fortunately the MVR is hurting on planes. So that's going to make a difference. Now, at this point, this should be a 1 game. MVR doesn't have enough planes left to kill. Oh, and there's the MVR. DSquarius is like, mine. Turning to get the full gun salvo on him. Switching to HE, smart, because it's probably going to switch back to AP. Yep. Because now that he sees he's turning. And as this game's getting ready to wrap up, you can see the big thing is just angling. That is what is making it so easy for DSquarius to live. Only 1.1 million potential damage tank because he never gave good angles. Cyclone helps as well, but never give good angles. You're never going to be shot because people are going to look at you and say, unless I'm going to take the broadside targets, because that's what most people in randoms do. And here we go, about to hit 300k. Politely asking the MVR if he can get the damage. Good turn. You're going to take one there, but that's okay. Need to aim a little lower. Switch to HE after this because he's turning in on you. And this is just cleaning up. There we go. There's the full 5-pen. And there's the HE switch.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
And MVR can't kill him at this point. Even with secondaries. Bada bing. There was his total damage. 328,815 with the Dreadnought, the High Caliber, the Confederate, 3,000 plus base XP, and that's how you play a Moskva. Phenomenal game, DSquarius. Thank you so much for sharing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Minnie, signing off.